Well, hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Operator Ideas. It was requested in the last video and I did say that I'll do another one, so I'm going to honour that and do a video. Also, I've got a new mic. I don't know how good it is, but we'll have to see. And finally, I have footage for 2 more videos that I should try and get finished soonish. I don't know when though. But yeah, right, let's get into the video. The first operator this episode is going to be Rebound. He's a defender and he's 3 speed 1 armour. For his weapons he'd have the MP5 and the Mark 20 SSR. And for secondaries he'd have the Desert Eagle, just like the Navy SEALs do. Rebound's gadget is a unique one. He'd deploy this metallic pad onto any surface, and when it's shot, the bullets are reflected off it. So, if you shot at it directly in front of you, it'd rebound back and shoot you. But if you did it at a 45-degree angle, the bullet would ricochet off at a 145-degree angle. So you could shoot it around a corner, or if you shot it down a hatch, it could come back up through the floor further along. And you could chain these to cover a whole room. So if you shot one, the bullet will ricochet off that, hit the next one, and it would just cover a whole room. So if you used Maestro's LMG, you could just do suppressive fire holding off a whole corridor. On the top of these devices, there would be an array of lights, and if you aimed at it, and if at that moment you were to fire the bullet and it would ricochet off and hit someone, then the lights would turn green, otherwise they stay red. That way, you know that if somebody is on the other side and you can shoot them. Although, this is 2 ways. The attackers could shoot at it to reflect and hit you, and the lights would still turn green for them. So you can't just wait there and in cover and just shoot these and you'd be perfectly safe. The attackers could use these back and kill you. I imagine Rebound's gadget working very similar to this scene from Suicide Squad. This next operator is called Trace. He's a 1 speed 3 armour, and he's armed with the Mark 14 EBR and Thompson submachine gun. For secondary weapons, he has the Glock P08. Tracer's gadget works very similar to Rook's armour bag. You deploy down a bag of specialised ammunition, and teammates could go and pick up from this. There'd only be 5 amounts, very similar to Rook's armour, but it would force the player to reload their gun with this new special ammo. Tracer rounds. When they're shot into an enemy, that enemy is then pinged every second for 3 seconds. So if you're just to spray through a wall, then they would be pinged and you could then trace them and kill them. Although, the one exception is Maestro's LMG, where only 20 of his bullets would be replaced with these tracer rounds, not all 80. Secondary gadgets, Trace would have the nitro cell and barbed wire. Now, onto the attackers. The first attacker is called Audio. She's a 3 speed 1 armour, and her weapons would be the XM8 that has a built-in scope. It's the same as an ACOG, but you can't change the reticle just because of the gun. The other option is the Keltec RFB, and both of these come with specialised suppressors. This is due to a gadget, which I'll get onto in a sec. For a secondary weapon, it would be the Glock P08. Audio's gadget would be a set of specialised headphones with a high sensitivity microphone built into them. This would amplify enemy sounds such as gunshots and speech cycles saying like "I'm reloading" or whatever. But it would also dampen teammate sound effects such as Montaigne walking about, your teammates shooting, things like that. So it would help distinguish enemies from defenders, and you'd have a bit more pinpoint accuracy to where they were with your situational awareness. You could also hear enemies from further away than you usually would. So, a suppressed gunshot on the other side of the building that would usually be silent, you would still hear it. It may be faint, but you could still hear it at all distances. Here I've created a demo of what I think it would sound like.
Out of ammunition.
A downside to wearing audio's headphones all the time is that enemies' gunshots that would be amplified would be effectively deafening. So to replicate this in the game, audio would receive a Ella concussion effect when when a enemy gunshot would go off nearby. This is why she has suppressors on her guns, so that she doesn't deafen herself, because all of her sounds would be the normal sound effect, they wouldn't be dampened. I believe that audio would have smoke grenades or stun grenades for her secondaries, as she could smoke out of sight but listen to the defenders to kind of see where they're pushing, and she could have an educated guess and fire through the smoke to try and hit them. And for the final operator of this video, we'll be looking at Jackson. He's an attacker from Australia. Now I realise that we've just had our Year 4 Season 1, which was in Australia, but at the time of making the operators, we hadn't had that, so as you can see I've been planning this video for quite a bit. Jackson would be a 1-speed 3-armour operator, and for primary weapons he'd have the M590A1 shotgun, similar to the SAS's shotgun, and the L1A1 self-loading rifle. For secondary weapons he'd have the P9 pistol. Jackson's special ability would be to throw a canister. Now this canister would contain a highly flammable foam putty, and this would extend outwards after a few seconds and hardens to be like a soft wall, similar to a cloud. This can block out rotation holes, doorways, etc. Jackson would have 2 of these canisters, but to prevent parkour and kind of getting out the map and things like that, the foam wouldn't be able to sustain any weight. So if you were to walk on top of it, the canister would kind of flump and break. As well, it wouldn't detonate if any players were nearby, too close, as it may block them in. As I mentioned earlier, it's highly flammable, so an impact grenade or nitro cell would instantly blow the whole thing up, letting defenders back into the site. I believe that Jackson's putty canisters would deploy very similar to this. This would allow you to block defenders out of the room coming back in after you've planted the bomb, or just to prevent them sneaking up and flanking you without making a lot of noise. For secondary gadgets, I believe that Jackson would either have a claymore or stun grenades available to him. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Operator Ideas. Similar to the last one, if this gets enough views, I will make another one. And feel free to leave your own ideas in the comments, and you never know, I may put them in a video and do artwork for them as well. Anyway, so yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to. Thanks, bye.